Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and it's December 20th. Cannot believe it's December 20th. I'm not sure exactly where this month has gone. My name's Tanya Doyscher. I'm from Gracie Beautiful Designs, and I want to know what you choose today.
And I'm Kylene Montgomery with Rise, Shine, Smile Yoga.
I'm Becky Kotzer with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and we are here to inspire you to fall in love with your business and just have that more fulfilling life. So excited. Yes, Tanya, you said 20th, and I was like, what? Seriously? Let me hold on. Yeah. That can't be right. And that's December, you said? It's not October? Oh, my. So time flies when you're having fun, though, right? That's so, Kylene, where should we start this morning?
Well, let's start with some gratitude. So we want to start with gratitude because gratitude is our superpower. It's when we're in a state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance, and therefore we have even more to be grateful for in our life. We start getting into the mindset and the habit of focusing on what we do have and really appreciating that. And in turn, you create more positive emotions inside of yourself. You start attracting more good things to you, and it just has that ripple effect. So we want to bring as much positive energy as we can here today for you guys to start your morning. So I'll start today. I am grateful for my mom coming. She is at the airport right now, so she should be here later this morning. So I'm grateful for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. I am grateful that all my screen printing is done. That was the big stressor for me of being out, of making sure that all my actual screen printing got done before Christmas.
Awesome.
Aaron and I were going to talk over each other. Yeah. I am grateful for our Monday morning mastermind group. It's just been, I don't know, I look forward to them every 2 weeks and enjoy what comes out of them, and it fills my cup. And I, too, agree with Tanya that I am really, really, really close to having my orders done. So I'm grateful for that also.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and the fact that you guys are done on the 20th, that's actually, really good, because I'm sure there are people that are scrambling and are going to go, how am I going to get this there by, because this year, the way Christmas falls, it's a little bit funky for people that are shipping. With it landing on a Sunday, you can't count on the Saturday deliveries, and so people have to have it by Friday. So anyways, that's a whole another ball game, a life that I don't have to live so much anymore. Thank goodness. So I am really grateful for the opportunity to be here with you guys. I just pinch myself each Wednesday going, I get to hang out with these really amazing people that have a mindset like me. Fortunately, I'm married to one of you, but Tanya and Becky, I just enjoy every moment that I get to be around you guys and listen and learn from you. And I'm also excited about the people that are tuned in live here and those that are watching the replay. And I would love to hear what they're grateful for too. So don't forget to pop that in there like Michelle just did. She says, today I'm grateful for the day off and family time. I love that.
Nice.
Yep. And then we had Chuck. In fact, we said, "Oh, Chuck hasn't checked in yet. We can't start." I love and appreciate that you, Chuck, are always there for us, and we appreciate you very much, Chuck. So thank you for jumping in early in the morning with us and being here. So, all right, well, you guys, I think we've got a lot to cover today. I'm sure as usual. So. Are you guys ready to dive into the, let's get Todd just popped in here. Grateful to remember teacher presence at 5 a.m. 6 ornaments done. There you go.
Talk about last night scrambling. Did we not talk about last night scrambling?
I said that somebody's out there, and there we go. Well, good job getting it done, Todd. Congratulations, celebrating you there. All right, you guys. Well, wellness toolbox time. You guys ready for that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hello. We're both here. Yay.
I know. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you are able to join us today.
Yes.
It's always good to have you
but
back.
surely.
Yep. Self-care, right?
Prioritizing that rest, which is actually really difficult. So, but
sure.
it's happening.
Good. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Well, today we wanted to talk about holiday mindset. So obviously mindset is kind of the underlying theme with everything that we're sharing on OSG Live. But I thought, or I shouldn't say we thought that, having that right mindset going into the actual holidays is really important. Now, some of you might already be in the thick of it and already had some of your busiest times. But just as you move through the next last couple weeks of the month, really having that right mindset can really make or break that experience, right? And so why not set yourself up for success? Maybe do a little prepping, and we're going to share a little bit about that with you guys because it really can impact our joy. It can impact our vibration. It can impact our just all of our outcomes, right? So if we can put some things in place to get better outcomes, let's do that.
Absolutely. We might have the expectation of a holiday that everything goes smoothly, like a Hallmark movie. Everything just goes perfectly all the time. No stress, flawless experiences, all those wonderful greeting card memories and things like that. But really, that's not extremely likely. Things happen. Reality is unexpected issues probably are going to arise. Travel delays. In my case, the last, I don't even know how long at this point of being sick. And you never know what someone's going to bring with them to the holidays.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can't make it to the holidays at all. So it's important, for those minor and major inconveniences for us to think about those and how we might handle those. So there's being adaptable is on here. And so Kylene and I are just going to go back and forth about ways that you could be adaptable this time of year to make your experiences that much better. Because when you go in, I know for me, when I go into something thinking it's going to be one way and then it falls short, then that tends to overshadow everything else and can put a damper on things. So do you want to start, Kylene?
Yeah, well, I was just going to add to what you just said. For me too, Erin calls it stubbornness. I don't know if that's really what it is, but like in my mind, like just, in order of how I do things for production or just prepping the house for guests, whatever it might be, I have an idea in my head. And then when these unexpected events happen, I'm getting better at catching myself and being more adaptable to adjust to those changes because it does impact me and I don't want to create more negative emotions. So it's really becoming aware of how you're feeling in those situations when those unexpected changes or those types of things happen in your life. So I guess when a situation occurs, you have this idea, you have your expectation, and it doesn't go to plan, take a moment, take a deep breath, and remember that this whole holiday experience does not need to go completely perfect. And whatever does show up, it's okay. It is stubbornness. I never thought of myself as being stubborn, but now that I'm paying attention to some of my actions when a curveball happens, it could be. And that's something that I personally am working on, being more adaptable. So just really being aware of how you can adapt to that situation, I think is the biggest key.
And I try to remember now to find joy in the small moments, and really be to practice gratitude during those times. I know I had a situation the other day where I was just in a bad mood. I was exhausted and nothing was going right, and I was really crabby. And I love it when my husband uses my own words against me. He's, you really should practice what you preach. And I'm like, what do you mean? How about you choose some joy?
Mm-hmm.
Don't use my words as a weapon.
Yeah. I mean, but what a gift that is to have someone who is understanding that this is important to you. So when they see you in that place, to be able to gently remind you, I think that's pretty awesome. There you go. You can be grateful for that.
Exactly. At first I was like,
oh, that's hilarious. That's too funny. Another thing is this really being appreciating the time that you have with those that are special to you. That can be friends, family, whatever it is. Just really be connected with them and fill yourself up when you're in those moments. It doesn't mean that all that other stuff still isn't happening. It just means that the quality of that interaction is going to be better, and therefore it's going to have more of a connection, and you're going to feel more, I want to say loved and supported, but kind of, this is the time of year where we go out of our way to really appreciate those in our life. And so make the most of it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say with those opportunities that you have to be around those that are special.
Yeah, make those memories, even if it's something, even if it's on Zoom or virtually. I know there's a lot of people in my life that we're not going to see. We're going out of town and for some more forced relaxation and rest, but I'm depending on technology to help me make some memories, and that's okay. I used to be, growing up, if we weren't there, then, we were failing or whatever. And I don't have that philosophy anymore. Now it's, I manage my expectations and still look for ways to make things meaningful. And I think that that's really important, that you can look for those moments, and it might not look the way it did, when we were younger or whatever, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I think overall that's really what we're talking about here, is it's going to be okay. If we create the story around it that it's awful, then guess what? We just missed out on this whole experience that could bring us lots of joy. And so the other thing is just being willing to compromise. This is an important one, not just for this time of year, though. I think it's just in general in life. There's always, yes, there's your way that you believe and truly feel that is the best path, but someone might be equally as passionate about it. And so just being willing, like I said, with the stubbornness, being willing to look at a different idea and way, and catch yourself if you're feeling that resistance. That's where I'm at. I feel the resistance and I'm trying to work through it.
I know for us, so many families have, your kids grow up and get married, and there's different families involved. For Jay and I, we actually choose to have our Christmas later with our kids. That way they still get time with everyone else, and we can have, it doesn't have to be on the day for us now, which that used to be a huge sticky point for me. And once I was able to compromise and kind of give that up and be like, you know what, it's okay. Our busy time is right up until Christmas. Give us a chance to like chill and whatever, and then we can have our holiday with them in January. And so that awesome. made things much easier for me once I accepted that and was able to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you wouldn't have been as present, right, in those moments if you had it all jumbled in together on the actual holiday. So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys made that change. Curious how everyone listening in, or those catching the replay, adapt to change. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen to all of us. there's no making memories is more important to me than gifts. Oh, I love that.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Yep. It looks like we have one more comment on there. Do you want to read this one?
Yep. Hello, everyone. When I moved the focus to all of my animals, Christmas stress can somehow go away. It will be as it will be. Quite good.
Awesome.
Thank you, Gusta.
Yeah. I mean, you make it your own, right? It doesn't, we have, society or whatever, we have this idea of what it looks like, but really it's unique to all of us, how we have our experience, our holidays. So the other thing that we have to share on here, and I think we're almost done, but is, practicing self-care. We have to talk about that, whether that is if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're being pulled in lots of directions, protect your time, take care of you so you can continue to show up for others.
Absolutely. I mean, for me this week, it's looked like going to bed early. The other night I went to bed at 7 and I slept until 8 o'clock the next morning. And I really needed that self-care because I was just feeling really run down and drained. It can look like going for a massage. It can go for a walk, do something that's going to help center you and take some of that stress and help you refocus on things.
Yeah, most definitely. Self-care is so important. My facial was amazing and relaxing yesterday. Awesome, Becky. I'm glad you did that for yourself.
Yep.
And then the other thing is just, listening to your body. If you're feeling run down, maybe do something that will recharge you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And sometimes it's a matter of making sure that you're eating properly, getting proper hydration, doing all the things that we should be doing on a daily basis. But sometimes we are the first to fail ourselves with putting everyone else first, especially as we're all trying to wrap up orders for the holidays and things like that. It's really easy to put ourselves last. And that's when we should be putting ourselves first so that we're putting our best foot forward.
Yeah. Well said. I love that. And then our last big tip, and I think it's kind of been the underlying message here today, is just communicate effectively with those around you. We are not mind readers. And so we really need to share how we're feeling, and if we need something, or if we need that time away, or if we need that time to do some last orders, really just be clear about what's happening for you with those that you're interacting with.
Absolutely. And Kylene and I just want to wish everyone a holiday filled with incredible memories, adequate rest, and make sure you get that self-care in.
Yes. Well said.
All right, let's bring everyone else back up.
All right, that was awesome. So, Becky, what about you? I know, like you said, you got the what was it, the facial?
And, it was amazing yesterday.
Yeah. All right.
So, she's still smiling. I love it.
I am. I was a little worried with leaving because I, still have quite a bit of stuff sitting on my counter, but I just made the mental shift to say, no, we're going to go and enjoy this. And I said I would go back and work, and I came back out and worked last night. So, I traded the afternoon for the evening. We do that as small business owners once in a while. And that was what worked for me. And I am thankful that my sister was able to come and we were able to spend the afternoon together. So it was just what we needed, that little couple hours of escaping. So highly recommend.
Good for you.
Love it. I think all those tools that you guys share with us there, for me, just taking that in, right? I'm constantly thinking about the mindset and the business stuff. And you guys have been so great about keeping me grounded into the fact that we can't let these wellness, the self-care, all that stuff. I tend to give away that first and foremost. So always a good reminder. So
yeah, okay. That's awesome.
All right. Well, where are we heading next there, Kylene?
Well, I'd like to share a little video about yoga as a form of self-care that we can do just to really nourish our mind and our body. So if we could play that little video, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing that. And honestly, if you guys want to try a class, please reach out to me. I would just love to you guys to see it and see if yoga's for you. It really is, for me, it's an amazing way to just stay connected to me and get grounded again and strengthen my body. So
there you go. Well, and if I can just challenge everybody out there, if you haven't given it a try, if you saw on the ad there, you can try a class for free. Kylene's in a little bit of transition with everything. And so, like she said, just reach out to her. I was definitely somebody that was like, yeah, yoga, that's not for me. It's whatever. And, yes, I still have a long way to go. But the fact that, I can do some of these poses that Kylene's taught me is pretty incredible. And I know Tanya and Becky both utilize the power of yoga in their life too. So
yes, it's amazing.
Good, awesome. All right, well, good. So Becky, you ready for bringing us a small business success gem here?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm excited. Here we go.
Good morning. Happy December 20th. I agree with Tanya this morning. I do not know where this month went or the quarter went, or for that fact, the year. I'm not sure, but here we are. We're going to make it through this holiday week and enjoy the weekend and the holiday week. So my gem for this week is one that we've actually already talked about in our short tenure of this podcast, but it is also quite important to me. And going into the end of the year, it is something that I think everybody should consider in the new year if you are looking to propel yourself or your business forward. And that would be mastermind groups. You heard me say I was grateful for our Monday morning mastermind group, and I truly, truly, truly am. There is, how many of us in there? 4, 5? 6 with Aaron, 5. He's saying 5. I can see it in the background. And we have all similar but different businesses in this particular mastermind. Now, I don't believe that any mastermind needs to have the same business type in it. I feel actually that is having people that are in there that are not from the same industry gives you one of the big points of having diverse perspectives. Being able to get a perspective from somebody else that's not in your industry. In my brain, that's that simple thinking. Somebody else can see stuff differently looking in when you're so involved in it yourself and you're missing some of the obvious points. And that group is also there for some accountability. We set our goals for every 2 weeks. We're checking in. We are currently using Slack for our check-in stuff. Now, I was very resistant to Slack initially, but we're there, and I love seeing the check-ins. I have fallen off the last few weeks with the Christmas rush and stress and busyness. So I know that is something that I need to get back to doing, and not just the quick, here's my text of what I'm doing. The video check-ins are actually really important to see that body language and see how you're actually doing, because just because my text says that I'm doing fine, my body language might tell you a different story. So I believe that those video check-ins, as much as that was what I was resisting, are very important. Those masterminds are there for learning and growth. I just look at my business from where I started this last year, and after working with Aaron through part of the 5 keys and my why, finding that why has just brought so many things into my life, more or less manifesting things into my life. First and foremost, I'm sitting on a podcast talking to you. That was not something that was happening any other time before that. Tanya was really trying to help me and pushing me, and it was big resistance there. So that is one. Also, with my why has come the realization that I want to teach. And if I look back to when I was a child, that's what I did. I played school. So I want to teach. And Aaron and I are working on some behind the scenes stuff that'll be coming out next year. Also, I decided to put myself out there a little bit and offer a hand knitted blanket class just to my community. And once that was posted, I had some friends from another community that reached out, and we now have 4 classes set up with almost all of them verbally filled. So I was blown away last night. That all happened within just a couple hours. And there again, not working with the masterminds and doing some of that stuff, I don't think I would have ever put myself out there to even consider doing something like that. So I believe that is been a huge part of that. Thank you, Aaron. He says, just think the world would not be able to learn from you if you didn't make that leap. You go rockstar teacher. Well, I think that's to be determined, but we'll get there. And Michelle says, love our Monday Mastermind group. I'm so grateful that I joined. And we are extremely grateful to have Michelle there. She adds so much value to us. And Aaron, I missed one. I love how connected to masterminding you are. So nice to be surrounded by people that understand the power of it and how much difference it can make. Yes, like I said, this mastermind group has just been phenomenal. The last part that I feel for this mastermind group is the support system. We've all become really good friends to boot on this. And so it isn't just seeing each other every 2 weeks. Tanya and I talk daily, maybe 10 or 12 times a day. Kylene's not quite as readily available to us right now, so we don't get to talk to her quite as much. Aaron and I are definitely back and forth a lot. Michelle and I have messages back and forth, and Sandy and I have been back and forth on different things. So it just amazes me how these people that live in your computer screen can become real life true friends and be there to support you. So I want to bring the other 3 of the 4 of us up here. I know we all feel the same way. I just want to get a couple more perspectives on these masterminds and see what they have to say. So
that was awesome.
Right.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a passion of mine for this year. That's been one thing that has definitely been a big part of my life this year.
It's been really fun to watch you grow from that resistant person that was really irritated with me sometimes for making you go live.
Oh, you were cussed big time in the background.
So Michelle, that's part of pushing people, is you have to be willing to be cussed a little bit, and that's okay.
Getting pushed off the diving board is one thing, though.
Yeah, but Michelle says yes, the support for whether it's business or personal, great friends. And so if I can just real quick talk to that, that's the part that just really I don't know, just one of the big reasons why I've fallen in love with masterminding is there is that support system, right? And yes, it's a business oriented, that's what we're trying to grow our business together. We're trying to fall in love with our businesses, that kind of thing. But the reality is we're a whole person. Our business is just part of that. And so we have to care for each other as a whole person. And, we have people in our mastermind programs that are going through some hard stuff. Kylene went through some hard stuff this year. And, I know for me, without that kind of just inspiring, I'm lucky that I get to basically facilitate masterminds almost some days it feels like every day, but throughout, and just that inspiration of people being around that truly care about each other is such it's uncommon these days. And so I think being intentional about that is so important for us. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
just to add to that connection that you have, I think is so important, because especially as entrepreneurs, we can feel really alone at times, and knowing that you have this group of people that you can fall back on, be inspired by, feel connected to with just ideas, or just sometimes you just need to just know that someone's there supporting you. It makes the world of a difference. So that connection, like Aaron and you guys were saying, is really important. And for me, I found, I leave these meetings so inspired and energized. I always wish I could have it every morning, but I know that's not possible. But
kind of can. Just got to create it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
I know once I made the switch to surrounding myself with positive, like-minded people, things just seem lighter to have that support group and leaving some of the drama and BS in the background and really focusing on who I surround myself with has made a big difference. And masterminding has been a huge part of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know for all of us, we've all had weeks that we've come and we're like, I don't have anything this week. And yet by the time we're done talking, there's definitely something that's come out, or even if there wasn't that much in my segment of that or whatever, there's always been something from somebody else's part that I've been able to take away and utilize in my business. And, and the masterminding, obviously, we're trying to do business and grow your business and support your business and move your business forward. But like Erin said, I mean, it's all, you're a person, and if you can't move yourself forward personally, your business isn't going to move forward either. So, I mean, there's sometimes where it's, we need to, one of the week it was, I'm going to clean my house for 30 minutes a day because that's what was going to move me forward even in my business that week, because it just needed that to happen. So, we talked about habits. It's all, stacking those habits and doing those things, being intentional. I think we haven't heard that word today yet. So I need to make sure we get that in there.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
So, I mean, so if there's anybody out there listening and would love to have you join us for our masterminds, we'd love to get you into our masterminds. I don't know what Erin has as far as trial stuff, or if there's anybody that ever wants to just chat about them on a one-to-one with any of us up here. Any of us would be willing to talk to you and discuss it further for you.
And we are forming some new groups to start off the year. So you've got a little bit of time that you can still apply. We have added some new people, so there's only a couple of spots left, maybe one. I'll have to kind of look into that a little bit more. So if this is something you're thinking about for kicking off your 2024, just go over. There's no, you can apply and you don't have to join, right? So we can then talk about it. So just get in there, go to oursuccessgroup.com/MOS, and then you can apply right there, and then we can get together. And like I said, Becky, Tanya, Kylene, any of the current Master of Success folks I know would be happy to talk to you. We keep the meetings to ourselves, so that way we can talk openly. So there's not really a, hey, check it out kind of thing, but we can certainly run you through it and give you kind of the agenda and the overview of it, and just see if it would be right for you. So, all right. Awesome. Well, that's a great gem, Becky. Thank you so much. You mentioned that we've been kind of busy little elves here. So
we have been very busy little elves in the background. We have a new Goal Getters Masterclass coming up in January. Our training is going to be a 2-part series in January with a 3rd part follow-up in February. So if you would play our promo video to show the details and get some more information about it.
There you go.
Did 2023 leave you feeling a bit frazzled? Ever felt like your goals are just out of reach? Are you looking for a breakthrough in 2024? It's time to become a goal getter and achieve your #1 goal. Discover how to turn your business vision into achievable goals with the Goal Getter Masterclass series. We'll provide you with the tools and strategies to not just set, but achieve your most ambitious goal. You will celebrate your past successes, plan a vivid business vision, and we will set you on your way to achieving your #1 goal. This is not just training, but a true masterclass where you'll actively participate in exercises and receive personalized feedback. Don't miss out. Grab your spot at our special introductory price and start 2024 with a clear path to success. It's time you became a goal getter, not just another goal setter. Visit osg.link/GG series to reserve your spot in the masterclass. You don't want to miss out.
Awesome.
You definitely don't want to miss out.
You don't want to miss out. Now, a couple quick things. That masterclass, if you're an OSG member, you're already in. So it's part of being an OSG member. So once you go to that page, you could actually choose to just be an OSG member instead, and then you get all the training. But if you just want this one time, like Becky mentioned and it said in the video there, we do have an introductory price going to the end of the year that's going to get you $50 off joining as a standalone. Now, like I said, I don't know why you wouldn't want to become a member, but if you just want to say, hey, I want to set a goal, become a goal getter, I think that's really important. And so that's one. Second thing, Becky taught me some stuff about Canva yesterday, and you may have created a monster. So look out. Custom animations coming in hot.
There's custom animation, and he wasn't aware. I love it.
Yeah. So I had to play with that, and I love that. Okay. All right. Well, check that out. And again, if you're already an OSG member or Masters of Success member, you that's part of what you get. But we decided that this was so important for people to really kind of get the year off on the right foot that we wanted to offer it as a standalone opportunity for people to jump in there. So excited. All right. Well, good. Yeah. Okay, you guys. Well, are you guys ready for a little uncommon mindset here?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. All right. Well, we are into part 4 of our Overcoming Busyness segment here. So this will be the 4th week that we've talked about it. And I just hope it's been as useful for you as it has been for me. This kind of being able to share these reminders is also obviously a good reminder for me. In fact, so much so that I'm like, I need to have a more visual way to do this. And so I just made a little infographic right here. I laminated mine this morning, but I'll do a better job cutting it out and getting something up there. But this is the 10 ways to manage overwhelm, and it just gives us a quick visual reminder of the different things that we're going through here. So here's the deal. If you would like a copy of that infographic, just reach out to me. Just go to consultaaron.com, and I'm more than happy to share a copy with you, but you got to go to consultaaron.com and contact me through there. And so I always like to get people into action, right? If we can take an action, that'll start creating momentum, and that momentum becomes a ripple that then becomes a wave and moves you forward. So consultaaron.com, just reach out to me. But I'm curious, how often do you find yourself, now that we've been talking about it, because I know I'm finding myself asking this question more and more when I sit down to like, okay, I'm going to tackle this thing. I want to do this thing. And I find myself asking, will this action I'm taking right now lead me to looking back on it 5 years from now and being grateful that I spent my time doing that, right? And just kind of looking at that future me. Kylene wrote it on a whiteboard that's on our refrigerator, right? The future me. Am I taking care of the future me right now with what I'm doing? Right? Yes, I love this ice cream, but is my future me going to be really happy about that? Right? Those are hard decisions. But am I taking my time to do this thing? Is my future me going to look back and go, gosh, that was such a great use of your time? Or is your future you're going to go, why did you waste your time on that? Right? So from this infographic right here, we've been talking about 10 reminders of how we can manage this busyness, overwhelm, or even burnout. And so this being the 4th week of discussing this, in week 1, we kind of went over everything, a big overview of it. Then in week 2, we dove into these particular techniques. And the first one was prioritize your tasks, where we discussed utilizing the fundamental 5 and just getting the right things done. The second one was setting clear goals, where we discussed, specifics equals results, meaning we have to understand what makes a clear goal, how much and by when. So that was week 2. Then last week, oh, come on. I've got the little guy heading to last day of school before winter break. Have a great day, buddy. Bye, buddy. All right. So last week, then we covered 3 and 4, and number 3 was practice time optimization, meaning get the most out of the time that we have available. And we dove into some strategies that we can use to check that out. So go back to last week and review that. And then we talked about learning to say no. And we talked about some different strategies that we could use to become better at saying no. It is a skill that you can learn, and it is a skill that we can kind of improve on practice, right? And so this week, I want to try to cover 3 topics. So we'll see how we do here. I want to bring the Fab Four back in. And thanks for being here, Angela, over there on the West Coast. I know Rena sometimes pops in too. So good morning. Thanks for joining us. So here's the first of the ones that I want to cover today. So this would be number 5, and it's embrace focus. And we have to convert to, and maybe implement, maybe is a better way to say that, becoming a single tasker, right? We all want to say, oh, I'm a good multitasker. No, that's not good. Let's try not to be a multitasker, because it's actually not possible to be a multitasker. You might just be efficient at switching tasks, but every time you switch tasks, you're using energy, right? So there's a gentleman that I follow. He's written a couple of really good books. His name's Steven Kotler. And most people would consider him kind of one of the foremost authorities on flow and focus. A lot of his books have been about getting into that state of flow, and he kind of really discusses our human nature and our deep desire for the dopamine hits that we get by certain things happening in our worlds, right? And that's what drives us. That's the habit former. Is we're basically drug fiends chasing that next dopamine hit, and so. He sent an email out recently. I'm on his newsletter list and whatnot, and this email really stood out to me. So I'm going to actually read it to you guys so you have it word for word. I didn't want to get it wrong here. So in the email, he says, as I've improved my focus and access to flow, I've become worse at multitasking, much worse. It's embarrassing. My team even laughs at me for stopping mid-sentence and mid-walk to send a text. This is due to the interplay between the DMN, which stands for default mode network, and the task positive network, or TPN, in the brain. So again, default mode network and task positive network in the brain. So when not engaged in a task, the DMN, that default mode network, is active. When focused on the TPN, when we're focused, the TPN takes over. So in his texting example, he is rapidly shifting from DMN to TPN, creating a tunnel of attention that makes me oblivious to my surroundings. So while the shift is a burden for texting, it is a superpower for flow, because the faster you can shift from the DMN to the TPN, the faster you can focus. The higher your reward sensitivity, the easier this shift is, because you get more focus neurochemistry, which is dopamine, funneled into the system in the form of dopamine. Sorry, I jumped ahead. So what can we do to embrace more focus? And that's a question, right? I'm exploring this, but I think the first way for me is just to make sure that I get away from that multitasking kind of idea, right? I have to do everything at once. I've got 27 tabs open, right? Because Chrome is awesome, because you can have a whole bunch of tabs and all sorts of different stuff going on, and it can be all right there. So one thing that I've started doing is, when it's time to get into that flow and really turn on the TPN, the task positive network in my brain, is I take the tab on Chrome, I take it out of the whole group, and I just have it. I minimize everything else, right? And so that's a signal to my brain that, okay, let's focus. The other thing is, we have all these notifications that are going off all the time, whether it's on our phone. I have notifications when a new email comes in. But the nice part about notifications is, if we're intentional, there we go, Becky, we're using the word again. When we're intentional, we can set those things, right? We can turn them off. There's a do not disturb mode. There is, just powering your phone off altogether might be, sometimes we've overridden the do not disturb mode so much just in case, right? But here's the deal. We survived for a long, long time without the phones in our pockets, right? Like I didn't have to be connected to the telephone to make sure that something bad didn't happen, right? I was a kid that didn't have a cell phone, and I'm still here, right? And I get that, right? Like, it's great that we have these tools, but the fact is, every once in a while, we need to it's an hour, right? Maybe it's 30 minutes that we can just turn it off. If you can't get that much time for yourself, then you really got to rethink your priorities. So I'm curious for you guys that are listening in, what do you do to embrace more focus, right? So I gave you 2 quick tips, getting the tabs and then using your do not disturb mode more so. And it can be, and again, it doesn't have to be do not disturb for a half a day. It's do not disturb for 30 minutes, for an hour. When you're in flow, the things that you can get done in 30 minutes to an hour are incredible. And you probably need that break afterwards anyways. So that's number 5, embrace focus. Number 6 here is we need to delegate more. And here's a great tip here. Set an alarm for 5 to 10 minutes to see what I can get done. I'm always amazed. Yeah, that's awesome. They're really good. I think that was you, Tanya, that put that in there. Maybe. So sorry. Yeah. Becky says even 5 minutes can be a game changer. Love it. Love it. Thank you guys. That perfect. And if anybody else has tips like that, keep them coming. Even though I'm moving on, we can always go back to them. And plus they'll be there for others to check out. So it's valuable across the board. Okay. So back to number 6, delegate more. Hard word, right? It's, but this delegate is a must for our sanity. And really it's also a must to be able to thrive. Right. We might have it under control. You know, we might have found strategies to kind of manage it all. Right. And we've got some of these here. But if you really want to be able to thrive, you have to become a delegator. Right. It's crucial. As difficult as it sounds to delegate stuff, you will never be successful if you don't give up projects that are outside of your core genius. Right. Like ultimately in our business, unless your core genius is being a bookkeeper, give up the bookkeeping. Right. If your core genius is creating the product, well, you may be better off, going to work for somebody else potentially, or just making sure that you've delegated the other parts of your business, right? So, and this can be work, this can be at home. Sharing the responsibilities can significantly reduce your workload. And so you have to figure out a way to let go of the need to do everything, right? Oh, I'm controlling and I have to have it my way. Okay. Well, then you have to stay in that position, right? You can still have all the same control that you might need if you get good at delegating, right? So when you set very specific, clear expectations and you spend a little bit of extra time educating the folks that are going to help you so that you do maintain that control, right? Then you're going to be able to delegate more. And I get like, oh, well, it's just easier for me to do it myself than spending the time to train somebody. It will add up over time. So maybe you spend a little bit more time on the front end, but on the back end, you get all that time back. Right. And so it's just a matter of spending that time up front and then you'll reap the reward. So one place that I always suggest for small businesses, especially solopreneurs, to look at right away is to try out a VA. Right. And the first thing I say when I talk about a VA that people normally say is, oh, I just can't afford it. Okay. Well, here you go. Go to osg.link/iWorker. And you can get a very skilled VA that can help you for about $7 an hour, I think is what the most of the workers are there. So if you can't tell me, like even if you had the VA doing your work for $7 an hour, and then you went and got a minimum wage job, do that math. You'd be ahead of the game, right? In a lot of states, minimum wage is going to be $15 an hour. So delegating to somebody $7 that you're paying $7 an hour, right? And so not only is that great for you get your time back, it's great for the person that's getting this work, because this, for them, these folks that from iWorker are typically in the more developing countries, but they have college educations and they're really good at what they do, and you get to meet them and build a relationship with them. And so check that out. Now, last thing about delegating here for me is when you delegate, it actually empowers others, and it's going to give them more purpose, and you're going to have a greater connection, right? So if they're just doing like little grunt work and you don't empower them to make any decisions for themselves, because you can't delegate that to them, you can't let go of that responsibility, right? Then you don't have that connection. Once I say to somebody, hey, I trust that you can do this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be here. I'm not leaving you out alone on an island. And here are the expectations. but how you do it, I'm going to allow you to make that decision for yourself because I trust you. And they go, oh, wow, Aaron trusted me. Okay, well, I'm going to do a good job. And then we're going to be more connected, right? So I guess at this point, number 6 here, what is stopping you from delegating more, right? If you'll share what's holding you back from delegating more, I believe that I can come up with a solution. Or my wife might call it an argument, but I think it's a solution. All right, Kylene's shaking her head at me. All right, and then the last one for today, so we can get the rest of the Fab Four back in here to talk a little bit more, is to take regular breaks. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, this sounds really counterintuitive, right? It like, wait a second, I'm busy. Why should I stop? I'm so busy, right? But Kylene and Tanya earlier talked about the self-care and that kind of stuff and how important it is. And I understand that. I just don't always practice it very well, right? And so when we take breaks, it can actually enhance our productivity. When we talked about being in the state of flow, you can only keep that up for a certain amount of time, and then your energy wanes, and then you're just kind of spinning your wheels, right? That's when you're kind of, but if you can take a break, you'll be able to enhance that productivity, right? So even a short break, it helps clear your mind, it reduces stress, it boosts creativity, and from that mind space, you're more productive, so you'll get more done in a shorter amount of time. So to kind of round out this one, to round out the week here, I want to leave you guys with a challenge. And before I get to that challenge, I want to put Angela's comment up here. I don't want to get too far away from delegating. She says, I don't always know what to delegate. I freeze up and think, I don't know what I need help with anymore. I've got an awesome solution for you, Angela. Do a time study for a day. Basically just meaning keeping track of all the things that you're doing specifically. And then once you go back and look at that list, you go, okay, what's outside of my core genius, right? What is it that what did I feel really passionate about doing, right? That could be another way to indicate what your core genius is. But when you look at that list and you go, oh, yeah, that one didn't get me all that excited. I know it's got to be done, but could somebody else do it, right? That's a way to kind of just break that down and look at which things might be, but you have to have the information. So I always start with saying, do a quick time study, basically just meaning writing down all the tasks that you've done throughout the day and how long it's taken you. So good place to start. Thank you for sharing that, Angela. Appreciate you jumping in there. Okay, so let me go back to the challenge on taking regular breaks, and I'm doing this too. So I'm joining this challenge because I need this badly. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna set 3 daily alarms on your phone, and do this as soon as we get done here, or you can start doing it right now. And the first alarm that you're gonna set, and make it a recurring alarm that goes off every day. I've got mine Monday through Friday, so you can skip the weekends if you really want to, but either way works for me, whatever you want to do, but at least 5 days a week. Set that alarm for the first half of your start of your day. So most of us, that's probably around 10 a.m. right? And then when that alarm goes off at 10 a.m., commit to taking a full 10-minute break, right? Stretch, pray, meditate, do yoga, move your body, just sit still. Don't do anything else, right? Just don't make it a 10 minutes of being productive. Yes, you can move. Yes, you can get some value out of the things that you do in that 10 minutes, but make sure that it's a break, right? And then the second alarm I want you to set is an alarm at lunchtime, right? And a lot of people, that's at midday, noon, whatever, but wherever that is for you. And that third break is when that alarm goes off, I want you to go eat lunch, right? Maybe you're not eating a full lunch or whatever, get a healthy snack, but I want you to stop and feed your body, whatever that is for you. I want you to feed your body. And I don't want you to eat at your desk or your workspace or whatever, but I actually want you to sit down somewhere that you can be away from it all and actually sit there and eat slowly. You've got 30 minutes, so you got plenty of time to eat, right? Be grateful for the food, for the feeding of your body, and just enjoy the food and clear your mind, right? And here, do this for a minimum of 30 minutes. Right. And so that's the second alarm, excuse me. Then the third alarm, I want it to be midway through the second part of your day. And then for a lot of people, that's 3 p.m. Again, wherever this works for you, you get to design your own life, but take on these challenges. So maybe that's 3 o'clock. And then at that 3 o'clock point, commit to taking that 10-minute break like we had in the morning. Now,
one other caveat here to throw at you guys before I bring the Fab Four back in here. If you can't, like maybe you've got something going on, you're on a call, whatever, your alarm goes off and it's 10 o'clock or it's 3 o'clock or it's noon. And you're like, well, I can't get to that right now. Do not stop the alarm. Just snooze it. All right. And make your snooze like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Just snooze the alarm. Right. Because as soon as we stop it, then that's when we give ourselves the ability to justify, well, I was just busy. Right? So commit to taking those breaks. Don't stop your alarm. Snooze it until you actually take the break. Right. And so I'm curious who's willing to take this challenge with me. And then next week we will come back and wrap up this discussion with the final 3: practice mindfulness, review and reflect, and seek support. So let me bring the rest of the Fab Four back up onto the stage here, and then we will get some comments as well. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for giving me that time to share there. I can't believe it was you know how I go. What's your take on all that? Whether that's taking regular breaks, delegating more, or the embrace focus part of Uncommon Mindset?
Well, for me, I've learned this over time, and I'm really stubborn about it. But if things aren't going well, to walk away from something. I was having trouble getting a job to register the other night, and finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Just put it away. Came back in yesterday morning. Registered fine. It was perfect. So for me, it's like walking away, giving myself some time to get away from it. And then it usually almost always goes better. And my husband's like, you know, will you please just walk away? We've done this for how many years now?
Yeah, love that. Love that.
I was the same way last night, Tanya. I had that. I have one order that needs to have an added tagline onto some of the shirts, but not all of the shirts. And I'm like, yep, I'm not doing this tonight. I can go look it up. I can see the colors, but I knew at 10 o'clock last night, I was done. So that will be on first this morning. So we can do that.
It was so nice to come in and be like, it just went, instead of like the constant fighting with the machine, whatever reason you get so wrapped up in it. And it just is not going to go right, no matter what you do. So,
yeah, that's great. The thing that stood out to me was the delegating. For me, not knowing what I need help with, I can relate to that comment for sure. But we have a helper. And last year, I was more involved and working with her. And now this year, she comes, she shows up, she just goes to work. And then she leaves. Sometimes she leaves without saying goodbye. So, but it's fine. But what we found is she's empowered now, and she's actually doing more work, better quality work, because she feels empowered to that we trust her, and she understands what we're asking of her because we were clear up front and spent some time with her. So I don't know, delegating, it's really important. It's not always easy to do, but it's really important. So for me, that stood out, that part of it.
Nice. Okay.
I wrote that down also, the let go of the need to do everything part. So it, and that's between business and home. I mean, when we cleaned the house last Saturday, Cora standing here off to my side, I mean, she stepped in and did some vacuuming, did some mopping, didn't you, Carol? And I mean, those are things that I normally would have went, okay, I need to do this myself. Then, nope, we need to get it done. So it was delegated to that part. Actually, she was given a choice on which ones she wanted to do, so she could choose which ones she wanted to do. Yep. So that was nice to have that, but to be able to let go of that part and do it. Yep. So
well, and empowering our kids to make choices and be part of it, right? We think, we're going to take care of them. They're our kids. We have to do everything. It's actually the opposite of that. It's way better to empower our kids to be a part of, because someday they're going to have to clean the house too, right? I mean, we hope so. And what better way to give them that? So, love that. So I want to share a couple quick comments here. I know we're kind of into our bonus time, but Barb says, I have a priority list for focus. Usually it has 5 things. I find that
early morning is when my focus on the priority list is best. As for breaks, my dog is the reminder. There you go. So another great reason to have a dog. I love that. Thank you, Barb. All right. Michelle says, I don't have alarm set, but take breaks to the house for water or beverage and have had lunch on my schedule for quite some time now. I love that. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. Putting it on your schedule. I think that's a really powerful thing, that reminder that Michelle gave us right there. So thanks, Michelle. All right. And then Angela says, for me, I learned to let go and let God. That was a game changer for me. Oh, wow. Powerful. Yes. Angela. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. All right. Well, anything else on the uncommon mindset there? I know I jammed a lot of information in a somewhat short amount of time. So,
well, I'm going to set my alarms. I'm going to do that when we're done.
I set mine.
There you go.
My lunch is 12:15 though. So
there you go. Perfect. And yeah, that's definitely important. Like I said, you guys get to design your life, your business to the way that works for you. So don't think that I said 10 o'clock, that it's got to be 10 o'clock or noon. It's got to be, I mean, maybe your first break is at noon. Maybe you're more of a night owl and you don't wake up until 9-10 o'clock, right? Or whatever. Or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're an early riser like Angela or like we're trying to be here. Or Michelle, the same way we're getting them up early. And so maybe your break's more at 8 or, whatever. So, let's see. Michelle said, I had to give up the dishes to my husband and son, but I have to let go when they don't get done every night. I think that's another important reminder. Part of delegating, and this is the hard part, right, is like, okay, I'm going to delegate this, but your way is not the only way. Right. And I know I struggle with that. Right. So, any thoughts on that, Kylene? I know you're stubborn too. So
well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about, just those expectations that we have. It's being grateful for the help that you do have and being clear about communicating what kind of help you do need. But be thankful that the dishes will get done then in the morning or whatever, it's letting go. I remember that with you when Lewis was born, and I left for a little bit just to pick up my mom at the airport, I think it was. And I came back and you're giving him a bottle, and I was all about nursing. I was like, what are you doing? And I realized, okay,
I broke our child
and I need to allow him to help. I can't do it all. This is not just my son, it's our son. So let's letting go and, putting the outfits on. At first I was like, oh, they have to be perfect. And then I'm like, no, they don't. It does not matter. Just letting go of those little things is allows you to do so much more and get back to what's truly important.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. And anything else? Good. Okay. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground there. All right. Well, Tanya, I'm glad that you're back. I was like, oh my goodness, we didn't get to ice yet. So, Tanya, you're on mute there. So, hit that.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. All good. All good. So, let's first off tell people that might be unfamiliar with it what ICE means, and then we'll jump in.
All right. ICE stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. It started back during a little bit before COVID, and it's just continued. It's something that warms my heart. It's like my love language. I love to inspire. I love to collaborate with others and to encourage others. And I like to have people do the same. So give it a shot. Part of that is choose. And so today I choose to be present. And we all have our choose boards. These are available on my web store. There's this size, and there's also a mini size now, which I really love the mini size for having in my laptop bag because I can always take it with me. And what the choose board does is it gives me a visual reminder of every day what I need to be focused on. I mentioned earlier, my husband kind of used my words against me. Is like, I thought you were all about this choose thing, choosing joy, whatever. So if I can see it, and I can change it throughout the day, but maybe I need to choose joy and choose happy instead of being irritated. Maybe I need to remember to be present, or remember to eat or rest, whatever. it's amazing how we can always put ourselves last unless we have the visual reminder in front of us. And so that is really helpful. So in the comments, what do you choose? What are you going to choose this week or even just today? I always love hearing what other people are going to choose. So
yeah. And back to Jay real quick, Tanya, you could just tell him that right now you're choosing to let him live for the next 5 minutes if he doesn't change his attitude.
Exactly.
Sorry, Jay, I said that. I put mine up. I was so worried about getting mine centered in the screen. So today I choose community and family. I am excited about Kylene's mom joining us, and just having grandma around is always great for the holiday time. So looking forward to that. Becky, what do you got on there?
My week on Oriframe Centered says relax and Merry Christmas. So I will be here next week, but I have chose to pretty much take myself out of the business for a week to just whatever that is here at the end of the year. I know I will still be out to the shop. I know I will still do things, but I will not have any pressure to actually do them. So, and Michelle says today I choose relaxation. Awesome. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
So,
Kylene, what about you?
Well, my choose board I brought to my office, so I don't have it to show you guys, but I choose joy and family today. I think for me, that is the most important thing, but it's been nice at work having it there, and my coworkers, and they come in, they're like, what's that? I'm like, well, this is what it does. And I get to share it. So that's been good.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yep. It's been very helpful for me. And just having that visual reminder. I mean, I used to just do it in my head, but then it was easy to forget and easy to, focus on all the other things that didn't move me forward. And by having that in my face, it's like, okay, yep, I need to switch my gears again.
Yep.
Yeah. I need to go in and order one for Cora because she's taken over my other whiteboard. And last week she had that she chose to be helpful, which she extremely was this last weekend. Nice. And I think she left helpful and it says designing or something. And I think it has to do with her Legos. So I'm not sure what that one exactly was, but she's been saying that several times over and over throughout the week that she's choosing to be something. So Tanya, I better chat with you and we better get one for her too.
Yeah, there you go.
We will design one for her.
Yeah. So there's the link for anybody that wants to grab one of those choose boards, and maybe the small board you said is on there, right, Tanya?
Yep. And there's also, I just added some new designs for tumblers and for shirts. One is me versus me. I'm my only competition. And then there's Choose to Rise, and it's a phoenix because I love phoenixes. Yeah. And then the one I'm really excited about is day one or one day. What do you choose? And think about that and let that sink in. Yeah. I've heard it quite a bit, but to have it in a design and have that as kind of a focus piece, I really, really like. So I can't wait to make myself a shirt.
I want that one too.
Yeah. Michelle says, I love the new designs. Going to have to decide which one to purchase after Christmas. So there you go. Yeah. Love it. Thank you, Michelle. All right, you guys. Well, one of the things with choosing is we also have to make a commitment to it, right? So we have all of these tools. We have all these things we talked about, right? And so I would say just commit to one thing, right? Like just get these small bite-sized actions, right? So for me, it was committing to, doing the alarms. Maybe it's self-care, maybe it's applying for a mastermind group or something like that. But here's what's so powerful about making 100% commitment to something is, honestly, that's the hardest part. Once you make that commitment to it, and then you allow that to be 100% commitment, the momentum has started. And if you'll just get out of the way, it'll take care of itself. But you have to start with making that 100% commitment. So I love all the things we get to share, and hopefully you guys are making commitments to that. But Kylene, can you close us up here?
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for joining us today and every day. I think this is week 13 of OSG Live. Yep. And we are welcoming any feedback that you guys have. If there's certain topics you want to talk about or hear about, or if anything that you think we can improve on, please reach out to us. We're here for you guys. We're here to inspire you and share some of the tools that are working for us and our journey. So, and what's going to help you move closer to your idea of success.
Yep. And that feedback is so crucial. In fact, Becky and we've kind of already talked about, some changes that are going to happen. So we got one more show left this year, and then in 2024, same great information, maybe just a slightly different format. So excited about that. Yeah. So Becky, any last thoughts that they'll get us out of here?
Just Merry Christmas and go and enjoy your holiday, however that looks for you.
Indeed. All right. Well, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we've got one more show before the new year, so we won't cover Happy New Year yet. Coming up. Stay tuned. All right, you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to everybody soon.
Have a great
Merry
week.
Christmas,
Bye.
everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.